nothing on the face of the planet outside a sworn affidavit from the developers or every design document dating back to its inception will ever convince me that Tetris Effect wasn't, at one point, supposed to be Luminous VR. There's the obvious connection of developer Tetsuya Mizuguchi and his team at Enhanced Games, sure, but the primary additions that make this entry of the block-following series unique are identical to the core tenets of Luminous. It's still one of my favorite PSP games of all time. But are the simple audio-visual changes enough to make you want to dish out $40 to rediscover your Tetris addiction for the umpteenth time? And when push comes to shove, is Tetris Effect just the same old 2D Tetris game, but with some crazy VR particle effects? Not surprisingly, the answers aren't quite as simple as they sound. For the small handful of you new to video games, Tetris gives you command over an endless supply of falling blocks that you rotate in place to create rows that clear upon completion. The more lines you clear at once, the more points you get, and that's about all you need to know to get started. But what brings Tetris into VR, or 4K for all of those still inexplicably without a PlayStation VR headset, is the addition of atmosphere. Because even though the playing field is still essentially a 2D surface, each level now has its own beautiful environment, custom blocks, and soundtrack. The idea here is that you'll want to put on your headset and a pair of headphones, tune out the world, and let the DualShock 4 pulsate to the beat of the music, and lose yourself in an endless array of sonic fireworks. Like Res Infinite before it, it's beautifully executed, and ideal for those who wanted to love Mind Labyrinth or Perfect, but needed something to do while taking in the scenery. Or those like me who have simply been waiting for the next iteration of Luminous to arrive. Expect a good variety of 3D backgrounds, about a bazillion particle effects, and a solid selection of songs, although none hit home quite as perfectly as Connected, the song used in Level 1 and all of Tetris Effect's ads. But for $40, you're getting far more than just the no-frills level-to-level journey mode. In fact, I found I spent most of my time with the numerous effect modes. Each one basically a variation on the Tetris formula, and each one surprisingly more addictive than the last. My current favorite is called Purify, reminiscent of Dr. Mario, where you're trying to clear as many infected blocks as possible within a 3-minute time period. I spent hours on this mode alone, refusing to give up until I got at least a B rank. But even when I played at my worst, none of that time felt wasted, because I was constantly leveling up my XP bar, a brilliant addition that made me feel not only accomplished, but also extra competitive to stay ahead of my friends, leading to possibly my only worthwhile complaint. Aside from an abundance of leaderboards and weekly community events, Tetris Effect is strictly a single-player affair, which is hugely disappointing. To me, Tetris was never better than when I was playing online in 4-player simultaneous multiplayer battles, which was happening just a few years ago, literally this generation in Ubisoft's Tetris Ultimate. Every new console should get a Tetris game. It's practically tradition at this point. But Tetris Effect is special. It manages to fuse my two favorite block-falling puzzle games into one, execute it flawlessly in VR, and transforms this already addictive game into something beautiful and mesmerizing that I'll easily spend 100 hours with over the course of the next year. There's no denying that Tetris Effect is simply Tetris in VR, and if you're not a fan already, then nothing here will change your mind. But with the addition of tons of new game modes, weekly community events, surprises at every turn, and an overall incredibly immersive experience, this is without a doubt the best version of Tetris I've ever played.